Alright, good evening and welcome to the test ground, the Automobilist Australia Super 2 Summer Series. It's about to say championship there. Here tonight from at least race 1 from Albert Park. Haven't got any graphics for you this evening, but just a basic premise of what will be taking place tonight. There will be 4 races, 2 of them at Albert Park, 2 of them at Oran Park. There's 4 times tyre and fuel rate. So you will see pit stops, no doubt. And brand new season, brand new cars based off of the 2017 season. Albert Park in 2017 wasn't a championship round, so it's being used as one of the test rounds. Same with Oran Park, which obviously has been absent as a real racetrack since at least 2010 and absent from supercars since 2008. Just had the qualifying session, a couple of drivers briefings. Good to see some new drivers out there this evening. But yeah, nice casual night for these guys to get back into the swing of things. Round 1 will be next week from the streets of Adelaide. It's ticked over to the race session. Hopefully everybody has made it in okay. Looks like my game's just having a little moment to itself here, just synchronizing. Hopefully it's not crashed. No, it hasn't. Doesn't look like everybody's dropped out. We've got 18 cars on the grid, so a number of very late runners here this evening. 18 drivers just to stress test the server and get some good racing in. No other co-commentator at the moment, just looking at Discord at the moment, so I'll be flying solo this evening. So rest in peace, my vocal cords, for tomorrow and the morning with cricket. Sorry, just updating some stream information here. I do apologise. And yeah, there we go. So just updating some stuff there. Formation lap has just got underway. Hopefully everybody, yeah, it looks like everybody is out on the circuit. So let's get this show on the road. Tim Redmond looks like he's going to be the man to beat. Very, very quick in practice so far in red and black. And Scott Pye's number 2 Walkinshaw Racing car starts from pole position here this evening. Steve Burko, the Super 2 champion from last season, will start in P2. Steve Warwick, newcomer, I believe participates in the Automobilist Supercar Championship and the Super 2 Championship over there as well. He'll start 3rd. Peter Thrower in 4th. The first of the Red Bull Holden Racing Team cars. Brapp, another newcomer, also from the Automobilist Supercars Championship, will start in P5. Taipan will start P6 in this one. Jit Mishra in the number 34 Gary Rogers Motorsport car will start in P7. Justin Cecil, relative of Matt Cecil, making his first appearance here in Super 2. He'll start from 8th place. Cheese in the number 78 Nissan Motorsport Harvey Norman car, he'll start from P9. Matt Cecil starting from 10th. He's a latecomer in the session, I believe. A number of drivers picked up track cuts and starting in the fun zone. Cracker, another very late comer, not signed up to the series, but I wanted to jump in and have a bit of fun, so it's good to see him out there. He's in the car sales, or one of the car sales business. He'll start along Scott Stancliffe, first of the big hitters to muck up his lap. He got a track cut at turn 1 in qualifying, so that's why he's down the field, but expect him to fight his way through. Brendan Ross, not a Super 2 driver, but did want a number of drivers out there tonight just to stress test the server, as we do have 30 drivers signed, or 29 drivers now signed up for the series. So if everyone shows up, we did want to sort of stress the server and also test the format for this evening, see how it goes broadcasting. So he's in there. He'll start 13th place. Coxie, looking for his big break in Super 2. He'll start in 14th. Another latecomer, Mike Coulston, picked up a track cut, I believe, so that's why he's down in 15th. NZ Snipes, another one, I believe he's picked up a track cut in 16th. Kai Jones, I think he joined in the warm-up session, or if he did join in practice. It was right at the death, but he'll start from the 17th in the Preston High Team 18 car, and Ben Pearson in the James Courtney Shore Racing car with boost all over it. So drivers now forming up onto the grid for a race one here from Albert Park. 8 laps. Do expect a pit stop. And if a driver doesn't pit around here, there's no compulsory pit stop, but if they don't stop, they'll have to save a bit of fuel and save their tyres. So that is something to look out for in this one. So a few of the guys at the back there just starting to form up. And here we go. Super 2 Summer Series. This is pre-season, but it's racing nonetheless. Away we go. Looks like Brendan Ross has got a good start there in the middle, but Tim Redmond will lead into turn 1 as they rumble towards turn 1. Clear hole shot, and looks like most of them there through fairly cleanly. It looks like Kai Jones has lost the back end there, has avoided the wall. There's a GRM car that's wide, and there may be another car that's gone around there, but looks like for the most part fairly clean so far. But they're going 3 wide into turn 3. Have they got through? Indeed they have, but Redmond, Burko and Warwick, clear gap over Peter Thrower's got a little bit of a gap over Taipan as Brendan Ross looks to make a move on Ulrich Fischer, who's forced a little bit wide and on the grass, and they're going 3 wide now into turn 6. That is the Harvey Norman car there. It's going around. That's Cheese. Don't know what has happened there. Also balked Matt Cecil, got more contact. That's Brendan Ross there. But, let's see what happened here. Always been hit up the back there from Matt Cecil. So Cheese is just riding his own distance, trying to avoid the contact in front. Cecil couldn't really see what was going on in front. He would have been just blindsided, and that is a lot earlier than what you'd expect to brake. So it's a bit of a racing incident there. And Burko has made a mistake. Redmond's nice and clear now, but what has happened to Burko here? Well, looks like he's lost. No, he's just clipped that curb there at turn 9. And Steve Warwick has rounded him up, and that is a couple of cars off there. Stancliffe, and thought I saw another car off wide there. We do have yellows out. Brendan Ross there, ready for a pit stop, but Reddy Burko has got the move back done on Steve Warwick side by side there, turn 13. And there we go, you can see in the background Scott Stancliffe off, but Redmond is well out in front. He can just cruise for the moment. Warwick a little bit wide next to the turn 1. I say, Peter Thrower has done a really solid job at the start of this one. Same with Taipan. They've had a little bit of carnage going around them, but they've avoided it. Been nice and clean so far. And Thrower now applying the blowtorches to the back of Steve Warwick, and a little bit further back in the background, newcomer Brapp is also coming under pressure from another Red Bull of Scott Stancliffe. And Johnny Cox just behind them, so Stancliffe up 5 at the moment. So right on board. Red Bull Holden Racing Team driving a little bit of a twitch on the exit. And in real life it's quite easy going through that right-hander in a supercar, I'd imagine, but in AMS with these tyres it can get quite squirmy, especially if you are on the harder tyre. So he's trying to get by Brapp here. He's doing a good job. And looks like Coxie and Snipes have just driven away back. I thought there was a 3-car little pack behind them, but looks like someone's dropped down. We've got Kai Jones out of the race. Let's go back to battle for 3rd place between Steve Warwick and Peter Thrower. Burko not losing as much time as in the background there. Looks like Brapp run a little bit wide at turn 13, and that's all the invitation that Scott Stancliffe needs to put it up the inside. So Brapp thought about a move there at the penultimate corner, but ultimately Stancliffe getting the job done. But, let's just have it right on board and see what Stancliffe's saw here. Yeah, he just had a look up the inside, showed the nose. Brap just running a little bit wide on the marbles. And there you go, Stancliffe now up into P6, 57.4 for him. And he was still 0.3 faster than Taipan and 0.6 faster than Peter Thrower on that last lap. So they've got a little bit of pace in their cars, but he's quite a ways off with the race leader, Tim Redmond, Flying Kiwi. Cycle back through. Oh, and there's Snipes wide at turn 3, but he's actually built up quite a hefty gap of Mike Coulston, who's one of the late drivers to register for the series, and then Coulston's got no one behind him, so Cecil's dropped back, Justin Cecil that is, and then Matt Cecil's got his, I think it's his brother, starting to put him under pressure with Cracker just struggling at the moment, but Mishra in the pits, doesn't look like he's got damage, I don't think. So maybe they're just playing the pit stop game here. Brendan Ross did pit in the first lap, and he's got damage on the right-hand side of his car, so he gets it right out sideways to the exit of turn 2. Got Cheese in. There's another one that just had a little bit of a spin there on the opening lap after getting rear-ended. It looks like he's got damage on all 4 corners of that car. Ben Pearson now leaving his pit box. Kai Jones out. Redmond stretched the lead to 4.7. Burko now 2.3 seconds ahead of Warwick. He's wide at 13. He's requested the pits, and well, he's going to be requesting help after that, but might lose out to Stancliffe as Coxey's looking to make a move on Brap. So Coxey's put together a solid lap here. Well, Brap's just full. I don't know if Brap's really fallen away because Stancliffe isn't too far down the road as he gets ahead, and Taipan was putting Peter Thrower under pressure. So very interesting battle here in the final 4 laps here. The final spot on the podium currently headed by Peter Thrower, but he's got Taipan right there. Stancliffe not too far away. Neither is Brap, Cox or Snipes as Coulson goes over the line, and we've got Steve Warwick there in the pit. So that mistake costly, and I don't think he's going to quite get back into podium contention, but he's pitting at the halfway mark. And maybe he's had soft tyres on and haven't quite lasted there. There's a little bit of a lock up there for Brap at turn number 3, but still holding off Botlow 5 car of Cox. But he, oh no, as I say, that runs wide at turn 5. He's in the fence. He's done a Zanardi, and well, there we go. And Cox just applying the blow torches. Didn't have to really make an attempt for a move, as the pressure has got to Brap, and Brap down to 7th now as we go further ahead, and Taipan has swept into 3rd place, and Stancliffe into 4th. So I wonder what's happened here. So this is Peter Thrower. Oh, turn 5, he's just bowled it, has he? No, he's gone to let them both go there. Interesting. So he's perhaps doesn't trust his tyres, and now Stancliffe looking to get a move done. Let's cut to a replay to where's he managed that? So has he just done that on the exit? No, he's gone for a move at turn 11, and they've gone side by side through 12 as well. Maybe a little bit of a cut there. The Burko line for Taipan, but Taipan gets one position, gets himself onto the podium, and then loses it just a couple of corners later. But still, about 3 laps to go for these guys at the moment. We've got our 2 leaders in the pits. So Redmond, Burko in the pits. Stancliffe's going to continue on. Taipan's going to continue on. Peter Thrower, though, into the pit lane, as is Daniel Cox, Snipes, Brap, Coulston, and someone else has gone through there. I wonder if that was a bit of lap traffic. No, looks like it's just our leaders there. But away goes Redmond, and might be a bit costly here for Burko. Oh, he's just avoided the 33 car of Brap. Don't want to get pinged for an unsafe release, and they've got both the Cecils in, and have Cracker into the pit lane as well. Misha was our early stopper, as was Ross, and they've actually both come out ahead of Steve Warwick here. So I think Steve Warwick's put in a heap of fuel, and that's cost him in the pit stop game. If he hasn't made a mistake, that is. Well, Rossi, he's struggling along out there. A lot of damage on the Wings Pro Drive Racing Australia Super 2 entry, and probably a little bit of rear tyre wear and heat as well in that thing. And Mishra, he's going to be a big winner out of this as well. He's jumped up a number of spots in the pit stop sequence ahead of Coulston, the Cecils, Snipes and Cracker. So these guys finding out the hard way that tanking the car as Rossi gets all kinds of sideways in the exit of turn 2, and in the end letting Warwick go. Yeah, they're going to find out the hard way. You're going to want to tank the car and not fill the tank up, because it will cost you time in the pit stop sequence. Speaking of the pit stop sequence, Daniel Cox has made up a number of seconds on Peter Thrower in the pit stop sequence, now right behind him. And he's had a good run out of turn 5, a bad run for Peter Thrower. Going through the long sweeper, and he's going to have a look, but backs out of it. A little bit wide there for Coxie. Looks like throwing out has just stabilised that position, and we've got a change. So there's been a mistake there from Stancliffe here, because Taipan's got back into the lead. So we'll just cut back here and just try and find out what happened. I should have picked that up, but too busy concentrating on other things here. But looking at the replay here, looks like it happened quite a while ago, and there's a bit of damage on the front end of Stancliffe's car here, so I wonder if he's had a bit of a spin and sent him around. As Tim Redmond now coming around the final corner. And he's actually extended his lead over Steve Burko in this whole sequence. They're both going to get by Taipan and Scott Stancliffe. And Taipan, he's got the drive-through penalty while he's in prime position for a podium spot here. So he must have come into the pits too quickly. And that's that done. Disaster. Would have been his best result. I know it's only the test round. Would have been his best result though in Super 2. And got Stancliffe now just a couple seconds away, but Rapp not too far away, and he's right ahead of Peter Thrower and Daniel Cox, who continue on their battle. And they've both run wide there, Rapp and Thrower. Cox looking to get a switch back on. Not quite close enough to make either of them pay here. But it is quite willing here for P5. Bit of a lock up there. Both tyres from Bratton there. He's wide on the exit as well. He's on the grass and he's going to lose 2 for 1 here. So costly mistake from Brap. All his work in that pit stop sequence undone. And Peter Thrower now back up to P5. Coxie up 8 spots from where he started into P6, and he wants P5. As in the background there, looks like it was fairly close between Mishra and Ross. Looks like Mishra's made a little bit of a mistake there, because he was a little bit further down the road. And yeah, Taipan's actually been caught and passed already by Stancliffe. Peter Thrower, he's going to run a little bit wide there on turn 13. And fastest lap of the race, Tim Redmond, 55.1, so solid lap times out there. Taipan, he's got to get back to the pits, but he's being overtaken. He's driving too slowly at the moment. And he's gone around, so maybe he's not changed his tyres and he's got a puncture, because his car doesn't quite look straight here. I wonder if he has forgotten to change tyres here. Yep, he looks like he's leaning to one side, is he? I reckon yeah, that front left looks like it's on the ground there. So he's not only has he got a drive through, but he's also looks like he's got a puncture as well. So disaster as Rossi all kinds of sideways again. Every time we see him, he's sideways this evening. He chases down Mishra for P8. But Coxie, as we're watching all that, has got by Peter Thrower, so he's set up a move. So he's gone for the old left, right, left, right, left, right. And in the end, Peter Thrower outbrake himself a little bit, opened the door for Daniel Cox. And around the outside at turn 4, that is a good move from Daniel Cox. It's Rapp now. Can he get by, or back by, Peter Thrower? start the final lap here. A big battle here for P4. Stancliffe not too far down the road here. He hasn't driven away as much as I would have expected here, so I wonder if he's got a bit of damage on that car, or if he's perhaps put hard tyres on, where he may have started the race on softs, as you see him lock up there from Warwick in the background there, the penultimate corner. But this man here on screen, Daniel Cox, has driven very nicely here in this one, and didn't set representative lap time clearly in qualifying, if he set a lap time at all. And he's picked his way through the field, avoided the carnage, and he's one of the few cars out there that doesn't have a ding on the front or the sides of his car by the looks of it too. So he's kept it nice and clean, which is good to see. But still, probably got about 4.8 kilometres to, less than that, probably about 4.4 kilometres or so to go from here. Perhaps even 4 kilometres, but he's run wide at 2 and 5, so might just leave the door ajar for Peter Thrower. A little bit strung out, but a couple of mistakes make the difference. Looking a little bit further down, looks like Ross has got by Mishra, so a mistake there. The two Cecils are close together on circuit as well. And Coxie here, not really letting Stancliffe get away here. Out front though, we do have Tim Redmond, 9 seconds clear of Burko, so all race long he's steadily driven away, but Burko of course, you know, didn't have the most ideal start to the race and dropped a bit of time. Coxie's actually driven away there in that middle sector. But out front, Tim Redmond will come home and claim a commanding victory here. The first race of the test night here. Steve Burko, solid start from him in P2, albeit well behind Tim Redmond. Drove a fantastic race, a faultless race. Stancliffe up 9 spots after getting a track cut in qualifying, will come home in 3rd. Coxie, probably one of the men of the race, home in 4th, just ahead of Peter Thrower. Brett will come home in P6 with fellow newcomer Steve Warwick in P7. And Brendan Ross will win the battle, personal battle between himself and Mishra. But, well, I thought he would, but looks like he's going to park it. He's got Cecil around in the background, as Brendan Ross lets Mishra by, but finishes ahead of Mike Coulson. Justin Cecil will finish in 11th spot, but what happened to Matt Cecil here? So they're battling here for position. So had a look up the inside, just blocked off by Justin. Matt has a look up the inside of the final corner. That's ambitious. And it looks like he's run into Justin there at the end of the race, but here we go. A little bit of shenanigans there. Cracker will come home in 13th position, and Taipan, who has picked up another drive through here, so that will put him actually quite a ways down. Puts the driver, if you do pick it up, it should just be a time penalty of say 25 or 30 seconds, but AMS does some funny things and can put them down to the bottom of the order, or even put them a lap down. So when he does cross the line, it'll be interesting to see what the game does here, but he will cross the line in 14th place. We have had NZ Snipes actually DNF from this race. Looks like he's just done that on the final lap, so we'll have to cut through and see what's happened here. But Ben Pearson finishes the race a lap down in 16th. So a little bit of ways back. So we'll just skip that for now. And Cheese, another one of the retirements, and the same with Kai Jones in his first running in Super 2. So as you can see, you haven't got the super pretty updated graphics. It's just from Super 2 from last season. But yes, it is Albert Park and not Manfield Circuit. Chris Amon with Tim Redmond. He was one of the see form runners in the back half of last season. Himself and Stancliffe, two flying Kiwis, were pretty sure they outscored Lion Mitch and eventual champion Steve Burko. So in the back half of the season, so they were very, very quick. But Redmond did have the consistency that sometimes cost Scott Stancliffe in a number of those races. So he's started. I know it's not the season proper, but he's got his best foot forward before we head to round 1 next week. So now we just wait for the server to reset. The grid will be set. And of course, the second race in all the rounds that have multiple races. So race 2 of Albert Park will be reverse top 10. And the second race from Oran Park, which will be later this evening, will also be reverse top 10. That'll be probably in about 40, or probably about an hour's time or so. But yeah, just bear with us for a moment. We'll just take a short break, but we shall be back in a couple moments' time for race number 2 here from Albert Park. Alrighty, and welcome back to the Automobilista Australia Super 2 Summer Series test round here from Albert Park. Race 2 about to get underway in a couple of minutes time probably. Just waiting for the grid to be set and then the server will be rolled over. Being told that a random bird is coming in to co-commentate supposedly. So just look at the broadcast channel, and indeed there is a Rosella that lasted 19 years has joined. So, Mr. Rosella, how's it going?
Yes, good. Thanks, Lewis. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think we should be in store for an absolute cracker of a race tonight.
Yes, we certainly shall. Got some more runners in this one. They only managed to have, I think it was 18 runners in race 1. As we know, Hans Brunswick works I think it's 3 to 8 shift, correct me if I'm wrong, for Australia Post. So that's why he's going to be probably missing the first races of a lot of these rounds here. So he's starting with the back in this one. It's good to see him in. Dane Liccardo, another latecomer that's jumped in, and same with Lachlan Locke. Server has ticked over. Drivers now just starting to slowly work their way onto the grid. Luke, did you catch any of race 1 there, mate?
No, I didn't. So, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty excited for this one. I did see a couple of races last season with the Super 2 series. And, yeah, like you said, we've got a few newcomers in this for this year. So, yeah, it should be very interesting, I think.
Certainly shall. Now, there is someone that's missing on the grid. Justin Cecil's car is invisible at the moment, so he may have disconnected here. And yeah, it looks like Justin Cecil's going to miss out here in this one, but we'll roll through anyway as the graphic comes up on screen. But while you're here, Luke, why don't you jump in and run us through the grid here for race number 2 from Albert Park?
I actually can't. I'm not in the spectator, mate. So I think you might need to run through it.
Well, mate, you need to get yourself in as spectator chief and get it sorted. But, all right, let's run through the grid. So Mike Coulson finished 10th in race number 1, and so that means he'll start from pole position here from the second race. Brendan Ross doing some lawn mowing, and well, looks like servers being reset. So this is your opportunity, Luke, if you do have the mod, to jump back in here.
Excellent. Just putting in the old folder in the season directory, and I should be in a couple of moments.
So yeah, it's a server reset there for restarting for Justin, who's had some kind of technical drama. There will only be one restart for issues allowed in the series going forward. There has been times where we've done multiple restarts to get people in, but if you do have more than one, or if we do have more than one issue now, just because to try and streamline how the race night goes, because there's going to be so much racing, yeah, only one restart is permitted to try and streamline and cut down any time lost there. So Justin was removed from the game. So obviously he dropped, or his game crashed, didn't boot him from the game, and when it ticked over, didn't count him there. So we'll come back into the game here, and then we'll tick over for race number 2. So just bear with us one moment. Still can't see Luke Rosella in the server under spectator, so that's quite disappointing. But he's not in the game just yet. And now NZ Snipes has left the game, so this is going swimmingly right now. And to quote Homer Simpson, now we play the waiting game. And Snipes has returned back into the game. So hopefully the grid gets sorted and we can get going very shortly here. So while we do wait, have you got any fun facts about this Albert Park circuit, Mr. Rosella?
Yes, it took over from the Adelaide Street Circuit as the circuit for the Australian Grand Prix from 1996 onwards to the present day. Creates some very boring races, in my opinion. I think the layout.
That's just a typical Adelaidean complaining that they lost the Grand Prix, but
yeah, right.
I completely disagree. I think it is a great place for the race, great city when it's not being ruined by political leaders, but for the most part, great event, a fun track to drive regardless of car. Funnily enough, it's actually good in a supercar, Luke. I don't know if you've done many laps around here in a supercar, but it's not too bad considering the size of the place and the corners that it has.
Yeah, like I said before, I think the racing's not too good, but in terms of a racetrack to drive, it's not too bad. Yeah, the supercars, some corners require a lot of sort of feathering the throttle, a lot of throttle control, and it's got some a little bit of tight corners as well, so a bit of slow speed, but for the most part, it's medium speed corners out park for this one.
And with the curves being so low, because it's mainly used to host the the Formula One Grand Prix and open wheel cars, you can really hammer over the curbs here and gain a bit of time that way. Which when you go to a lot of the other supercar circuits, obviously the curbs are a lot higher up and you're sort of bouncing all over the place. So you can hack up. I wouldn't say hack up the track, but you can certainly take corners a lot easier than what you would that would be the same radius at other circuits which have high curbs.
Yeah, you're right. It's quite different to a typical street circuit with higher curbs, especially some of a lot of the street circuits in the modern era. You started to see more flatter curbs, but in terms of a traditional street circuit, for a V8 supercar or a touring car, you get higher curbs. So yeah, like you said, it's quite more forgiving in terms of using more of the racetrack here at Melbourne.
Certainly is. We've ticked over to the race session now. Looks like the grid is set and everybody is on it. So now we're just waiting for the formation lap to begin.
Still not in. I'm still not in. So yeah, you have to run through the grid again, mate.
Hopefully you can get in here, but to once again run through at least the first half of the grid here. Mike Coulson will start race number 2 here from pole position in the reverse top 10. Brendan Ross, who, as we saw in race 1 there, likes getting it sideways here. He'll be hoping to keep it a little bit straighter and go a little bit faster here in race 2. Obviously not a Super 2 runner, but just someone that jumped in to help fill the grid out and stress test the server and test out the race format. He'll start second place. Mishra, he'll be a little bit disappointed with his race 1, but starting from third place, he will be in prime position if he can get a solid start to rectify his race 1 woes. He'll start from third. Steve Warwick was running well early on in race number 1, but fell away as the race went on. He'll start fourth. He'll want to probably follow Mishra through, have a nice clean run and pick up a solid result here. Brap, the other newcomer, starting from P5. Again, he fell away a little bit in the middle of the race, but actually come on a little bit strong towards the end. So we may see a bit of pace from him in this one. Peter Thrower, he was looking good before. Just fell away late there. And then Daniel Cox drove very nicely in race 1. Moved up, I think it was over 10 positions in the end there. After he either didn't set a lap time or set a poor lap time in qualifying. So he's another one to look out for. and he'll want a podium in this one. Scott Stancliffe, as you know, very, very quick here in Super 2. Didn't get to set a lap after a track cut, but worked his way through the field and was able to get third place in the end, but didn't quite have the ultimate pace that we're accustomed to at the back end of race number 1 there, so maybe just struggling just a little bit. Steve Burko, our Super 2 reigning champion, he'll start P9 after finishing second. He'll be hoping for a better start in this one and not getting caught up behind people. Tim Redmond, well, he didn't see another car really. After the formation lap, drove away and drove beautifully and was never headed. But this one, he's got 9 cars in front of him, but behind him, 2 Cecils, Justin and Matt. A ding-dong battle there at the end of race number 1, and that will surely continue in this one. Cracker, there's not too much running in these cars of late. He was a latecomer in this one, not registered this year, but coming along for the fun of it. Taipan, he was another one in with a shout for a podium, but disaster struck when he picked up two drive-through penalties, and I believe a puncture as well. But I cannot confirm that one. He'll start this one in 14th, but he'll go for a good start to work his way back up the field. Then we have NZ Snipes P15, DNF in the first one. Pearson's a lap down in 16th in the last one. He'll start 16th. Cheese at DNF. He got caught up in lap 1 incident last time out in race 1. He'll start 17th, followed by Kai Jones, the first retirement, followed by Ricardo, Lachlan Locke, and Hans Brunswick, who are all latecomers who didn't race in race number 1. But we're on the grid, getting ready to go. Line 5 lights. Away we go, and Ben Pearson, well, he's jumped the start. He hasn't had a great start in the background, but already that is, trying to work out who that is in the 34 car. That's Mishra in the lead at turn 1. Steve Warwick having a look up the inside. Do they all get through turn 1 okay? Looks like they have. They've all lived to fight another day through turn 1 at least. Turn 2, a little bit of argy-bargy, but again, looks like everyone's lived to fight another day. Turn 3 now, another opportunity for these guys to cause an incident. But looks like for the most part, they've all got through there cleanly. So great driving from these guys at the start of this one. But hold on a second. That is a little bit of half spin there from, I think that was Mike Coulston. There's a number of cars going off the road at turn 5 doing some lawn mowing. And Coxie having a look up the inside of Stancliffe there and up the inside of Redmond, who's already worked his way up to P4. So those fast runners, flying starts. Burko is only really moved up 1 spot. He's only got by Brendan Ross so far in this one as Cox runs wide and allows Stancliffe by for P5. Here we are, turn 11 and 12. So Snipes has a look at Coulston. Yeah. So in the lead, Bishop with a cracking start. Nice and aggressive into turn 1. He's got about a second over Steve Warwick. Then the second of the GRM cars in third, followed by Redmond and Stancliffe, who's off, and Brendan Ross is off.
Ross is off.
So it's all happening here, and that sounds like you've jumped into the game finally.
Yep, finally got it working, and I came at just the right moment. Yeah, like you said, everyone's done a bit of lawn mowing here at the Parkland circuit here.
And a little bit of contact in the exit final corner, but Redmond looking to make a move and already go into a podium place at the end of lap 1 here.
And you see Tim Redmond going into third place, making his moves early here. You got to around this circuit and this nature of this race being a sprint race. Yeah, you got to be ultra aggressive in the early parts of this race.
He's certainly done that. Already up 7 spots. He did have a pace advantage over the field really in that first race, but he never really had to battle anyone, so he could conserve his tyres. So that will be something to look out for here, Luke, is that you don't want to go about wasting your tyres battling people, because they will wear out quite a bit with 4 times tyre wear.
Yep, you gotta, as well as making some moves, being ultra aggressive, you gotta think about tyre wear. Yeah, just being full times tyre wear for this round. So gonna think about a lot of things.
We've got an angry battle pack behind Mike Coulston here. It looks like actually Hans Brunswick in the Rulo car was actually, he got ahead of Steve Burko, but it looks like he's walked backwards, so internet or computer drama there for him has dropped him back down to 12th, and they're going 3 wide here, and Coulston's been put into the fence, and there's Liccardo, so that's just some silly driving, trying to make it 3 wide into a corner where, I have to say, like, you don't really want to be trying to pass into that.
It's not gonna work, never gonna work into there, especially in a V8 supercar. It's like Taipan gonna make a massive dive on Hans Brunswick, holds it around the outside, and Sting Dog battling here. It's fantastic.
They're battling for sheep stations on lap 2 here. So we've got, that's Ben Pearson off in the background there. Matt Cecil also off. I wonder if there was a bit of contact there.
Pearson looks like it's parked it. Yeah, he's retired. Ben Pearson's retired from the race.
Yeah, so he wasn't in the fence hard. We've got Kai Jones, he's also down the back of the field. At the front though, we've got Mishra now coming under attack from Steve Warwick, and
a bit of a bump.
Yeah, I don't think was it a bump or was it lag? I have to have a look here. It's just right on board. Looks like Mishra just saw him coming late and got out of it there. But he's not giving up, and he's going to have a look here, is he? At turn 5.
Having a look, but Warwick tried to close the door there, and
lost it on the exit. He's
avoided the wall.
Yeah, they've both Redmond and Mishra have done a good job avoiding the fence there. Mishra just losing the back end while Tim Redmond is alongside him. And contact was made as Mishra was having his massive slant tapper there, but thankfully we avoided a massive action. Warwick leads, but he's got a fair job ahead of him with Tim Redmond, the 4th man at the moment, looking to close him down at the moment. Coxie in 4th place. He's got ahead of Stancliffe, I believe, and doing a good job. But Stancliffe now does have a little bit of a pace advantage and wants to get P4 back. Peter Thrower, he's had a good night so far. Doesn't move from where he started, but still P6 at the moment as Stancliffe has a look at Coxie's. Held on around the outside quite nicely. Also had Snipes here, Luke. He's jumped up 8 spots, and he's had a very solid start to this one.
Yeah, good on NZ Snipes. Stayed out of trouble with the early parts of lap 1 and 2. That's what you got to do as a driver if you start in the mid-pack towards the back end of the grid. You just got to stay out of trouble, and their first opening laps you could find yourself in a really good position. And
got Stancliffe up the inside of Coxie. He's outbroke himself a little bit, but Coxie also outbroke himself. And
race leaders in the pits as well, Steve Warwick.
Yeah, we did have Steve Warwick in the pits in this one, so I wonder how long driver's going to go this time. We did have a mix with, I do believe Warwick was one of the earliest stoppers, as was Brendan Ross in race number 1, so something to look out for as Stancliffe gets it right out sideways on the exit of turn 4. And looks like the pit crews are getting ready for Walkinshaw Racing and Gary Aldridge Motorsport for Mishra and Redmond, so they'll both be in on this one. Just going to have a cycle through here and see. So Steve Warwick's just left the pits now, and he's in a lot of clear air, so he doesn't have to worry about being balked here on his outlap.
Yeah, as a racing driver and as a race engineer, you want to have that clear air of the pit stop to sort of cover you might do in the undercut to sort of cover people trying to do the overcut. So yeah, clean air definitely on the race driver best friend of pit stop.
We also had Brapp and Burker retire, which we haven't picked up on, so don't know what's happened there. Disaster for those guys, but of course there's still 2 more races this evening. So I don't know if the practice server is up for Oran Park just of yet, but they maybe just go to single play and get some extra laps in for Oran Park. Now Redmond, does he stay out? No, he doesn't. He's into the pits, and Mishra also following him in. So had Stancliffe, he's been battling with Coxie all through this lap.
Oh, Mishra sideways into the pit entry. Wow.
So have a look at that on the old replay.
ultra
Oh,
committed.
he's tank slapped it both ways. Obviously, he's not going to be using these rear tyres for the second stint here. And it's busy here in the pits. Now, a number of drivers in the supercars, AMSOZ supercars, picked up penalties for unsafe releases, Luke. And Mishra is...
As we say that.
As we say that, has just done the same thing there. So they're going side by side there. So that will be something that will have to be interesting to these drivers here for the season. As you found, or you're going to find out the hard way once the penalties for Gold Coast get
Don't
put
know
up.
what you're talking about, Liz. Do not know what you're talking about. But as he sees Tim Redman rejoin the
And
racetrack.
where is Steve Warwick in all this? He's in the pits again. So maybe he's forgotten to put tyres on.
What a disaster.
Because he's only just entered the pits. So, disaster for him.
Odd.
Opens up the battle for third. So Redmond in the effective race lead now. Once the pit stops shake out. Mishra made up quite a bit of time there too. So maybe he saved a little bit of fuel and didn't have to put in as much, which saved him time. There was about second half between the two. But at the moment though, Stancliffe is in the lead. Doesn't look like he's getting ready for a pit stop. Taipan in second, followed by Cracker and Matt Cecil. And Cecil has got Brendan Ross right behind him. Was see very sideways again into turn 12. Let's cut to our race leader, and he's in. He hasn't called his pit crew. He may cost himself a second or two here.
Really conservative on the pit speed limit there. Pretty early.
Yeah, normally he's a bit aggressive, but this time pretty conservative. And there it is, Taipan coming in, Cracker coming in. Cecil and the Super Cheap crew are getting ready. Brendan Ross is going out again as he gets it right out sideways into the bronze corner and multiple times to the final corner.
Of course, using the Grand Prix pit lane instead of the supercar pit lane just to the rear of the shot there.
Yeah, so supercars don't actually do pit stops here at the Grand Prix circuit. They just do short sprint races for the most part. But Redmond in the lead. It looks like he has stretched away just a little bit on the outlap. We've got yellow out. It's Brendan Ross. He's gone around at exit of turn 2 there. And let's see what he's done here on ye olde replay. As we've seen, he loves getting it sideways, and I think he's done it one too many times here, Luke.
Yeah, Brendan Ross, you know,
he's
a lot of times when I'm behind him, he's just, he looks like he's in Formula Drift. Always right out sideways, like you said, but he's, yeah, I don't think those rear tyres would be quite well at the moment.
Yeah, so he's Jarno Trulli it. So if you go back to Jarno Trulli 2002 Australian Grand Prix, he's pretty much done the exact same thing. How Jarno Trulli did it though, with traction control in Formula 1, I don't know. But maybe it broke on him that day, I have to confirm that. But that's exactly what Brendan Ross has done, is replicated Jarno Trulli. I don't know if Rossi's pitted yet, but it's currently in third. Cook's not too far away. And Stancliffe, out of the whole pit stop sequence, by going a bit longer, has actually lost a bit of time here, Luke. So he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to get himself into third place here.
Yeah, he does have the tyre advantage though, so I think he have gained a bit of time. If he can push here in the last few stages to Daniel Cox, it'll be pretty interesting to watch here.
Yeah, certainly one to look out for. A bit further back, Snipes has done a really good job, up 9 spots, is in P6. Peter Thrower, not too far away. Then we have Taipan and Lachlan Lock. So Lachlan Lock, his first race of the night, finds himself up 11 spots from where he started in the number 9 Penrite Erebus cars. Redmond sets the fastest lap of the race. He's now 2.7 seconds clear of Mishra in second. And both the Lock and Taipan cars, bit of damage on the front end, so it looks like they've run into the back of someone at some point in this one.
Stancliffe on the grass at T1.
Got a move here for third. Coxie up the inside of Brendan Ross. at turn 3 and
Moved on.
podium position. I do wonder, right on board here, Brendan Ross, I wonder if he's trying to no-stop this race here.
Don't know if it's possible. I haven't done it on testing around here.
A lot of short shifting going on at the moment. Yeah, he is not using the revs at all at the moment. A little bit of lifting and coasting, but not much. He doesn't put up
lift down the inside.
Doesn't put up a fight with Stancliffe up the inside. Stancliffe trying to get a move on and catch Daniel Cox down the road. But yeah, I wonder if he's tried it or if he's gone one lap too many on the fuel here and he's struggling to get back home to the pits.
Judging from the onboard, I think I don't think he's even pitted. Because he's struggling even in the corners, Lewis. Not only in the braking zones having to lift and coast, so I reckon he's trying to really extend this.
Well, he's going to get eaten up regardless by Snipes. Snipes will be hoping that Ross may have ran out of tyres here because he's, as you said, he's struggling big time. And he's not coming in the pits, even though he had the pit marker come up, so he might be bingo on fuel here. But Snipes up into P5, Stancliffe at 55.7. Now I'm just gonna. I don't have live races up, so I can't compare it to Tim Redmond, but it wouldn't be too far away from what he's able to manage. But Cox now the final lap, and he's got a battle for a podium spot.
More
contact!
Advantage! Oh, he served Daniel Cox. And he looks like he's going to redress it though.
Well, maybe. Oh, but Cox has gone around again!
Oh.
Disaster! So, Stancliffe very late on the brakes and he's travelling slow. This is going to be a podium for Snipes here if there is any kind of redress here. So, just wait and see. But out in front, Redmond.
Oh, Stancliffe hit the wall. Hit the wall hard there. There's no visible damage that I can see, but he hit the wall pretty hard. And like you said, it doesn't look like he's going to regress the position here, Lewis.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going back up to racing speed. He's realised that Daniel Cox has lost a lot of time with that second spin and he's just getting on with it here. But instead, Snipes not too far away as they go through the 11 and 12 chicane. I think it's 11 and 12. And yeah, not too far away. Just a little bit further down the road though. And Tim Redmond now coming through the final corner and we'll go back to back here in the test round. And again, commanding drive. Mishra was right there with him in the pit stops, but Redmond just too quick in the end. Mishra though, up a few spots. Well, I think a few spots. All it needed to sort itself out here. But he did all he had to do and got redemption here. Very good effort from him. Second place here, continuing his upward trend. Stancliffe in third place in the end. Snipes in fourth, followed by Peter Thrower in fifth. He's had a good night so far tonight. Daniel Cox was in third, crossed the line in sixth after that contact with Scott Stancliffe, but still, he can take some positives out of this one for sure. Taipan in seventh, followed by Lachlan Locke in eighth place. Good drive from him. And then we have Cracker, Arndt Brunswick in 10th. Bit surprising seeing him down there, but he's not had too much practice out there. And then we have Brendan Ross in 11th, getting spun around by Ian Mercado there in the Assist Pro Drive Super 2 car. Cecil home in 13th, Matt that is. Justin Cecil without a bonnet coming home in 14th. Steve Warwick is slowly coming to the line in 15th. He had to make a second pit stop for what I can only guess would be either not enough fuel or not enough, or he forgot to change tyres. And then we have Cheese in 16th, and he'll be the last of the runners. In fact, he already has finished with Kai Jones, Mike Coulston, Bratt, Steve Burko and Ben Pearson all non-finishing from race 2 here from Albert Park. Well, Luke, what stood out from you with obviously race 2 here from Albert Park?
Well, Tim Redmond. I mean, he's just been he's dominated the sort of opening stanza of the, you could call it, the season. Yeah, he'd be certainly one to beat going into the, of course, the official regular season. But yeah, Daniel Cox as well. We know he's pretty handy behind the wheel, but yeah, he was right in contention for a podium place there. Stancliffe as well, being pretty quick in that race. But yeah, Tim Redmond, absolutely, yeah, pretty good pace from him.
Yeah, back to back, and his first lap, has to be said, was what set up the victory for him. Got himself up to, I know he got up to fourth. I'm trying to remember if he got himself up to third by the end of the first lap, but certainly gave him plenty of time to move his way forward after that first lap that built up his race. And Daniel Cox, you just showed that he wasn't outright fastest, but and he's a little ways off Tim Redmond and the like, but due to that consistency, he made it hard for the likes of Stancliffe to close him down and was in a podium position up until that final lap. Bit of a shame that contact was made, but yeah, I think going forward, if other drivers can take that sort of mentality going forward, that if they're just fast enough, they don't have to be the absolute fastest, they just need to be, you know, decently quick, but if they don't make a mistake, they'll put themselves in good positions. He did that. Unfortunately for him, he just got rear-ended, but thankfully for him, only just the test round. Anyway, that's Albert Park done and dusted. We'll just have probably about a 25-minute break from the broadcast, and we'll fire it up for qualifying for Oran Park. So, catch us in 25 minutes.